address that, I just want us to have um others in class. So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, like you sort of you spoke for yourself or you spoke for the whole class.
I've been in contact with someone else, with like two other students, and they were asking how far with my own progress in the, and I presented my challenge with them, and it was similar.
Okay. Um, welcome, Mr. Steven, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good evening,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, yes, sir. Thank you for joining.
Hello, Stephen.
Hey, good evening. Bro, how you doing?
I'm well, sir. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah. Okay, so I quite understand you, Mr. Temitayo. Um, you see, this is something that I was expecting, right? I knew because again, what we are studying for is a field that demands your time and energy and a lot of I'll say dedication. So I quite understand it. Trust me, from the human, from that I'll say uh, from the sympathy level or is it empathy now? I quite understand you quite well because I've been there, so I know what you're trying to say. But that being said, people have done it in the past, right? I have done it. The sets pioneering this program has also done it. So it's not new, right? It's not like maybe it's just your batch or your sets, right, that have to has that workload. No, right. So what is it now down to? So it's basically down to I was just waiting so we have more people in class so that we can actually just
I
discuss
understand. I
it.
understand. We can chill for that.
Yeah. Um but we're recording, and again, we have time that is allotted for this live session. So whoever misses this part will definitely catch it in the recording when they watch it. So it's all down to management, the time management, how you manage your time, right? So there's 7 days, or we say 24 times 7. That's now breaking it down to the hours, right? So we have over, I think, 100 and something plus hours to go through the materials. And those materials, one of the sessions I showed us, okay, if you probably think you have to read everything word for word, you might probably, of course, spend a lot of time, right? Maybe requiring to spend 5 hours on each chapter if I want to be realistic. But again, um, you should be able to develop reading techniques. The reading techniques like skimming through things, taking out the main points, jotting things down, and then you know having to go through those materials in a much faster pace, without having to read everything word for word, right? So but with that as well still being said, like I said, it's all about time management, right? How you manage your time, how you allot this time to your study. So but again, don't get me wrong, I understand you completely. It's just how the field is. You're not this is not um, which is very important because you need to have this at the back of your mind, which will help you. It will serve like a breastplate towards any discouragement or towards any of these, I'll say, like challenges that wants to come hit you. Once you have this breastplate, and what is this breastplate I'm talking about? This is not learn cybersecurity in 30 days. This is not an online course. We are studying cybersecurity as though we are bachelor's students in cybersecurity. Cyber Vigil University, we attain that point where we also deliver courses at master's level. But right now we are at bachelor's level. So it's not like, these platforms where you study, Coursera. I always say no shades to this platform. They are excellent platforms. Have learned from this platform, so I know how important they are. But what we are doing here is different. You need to understand it's different. So again, it will still take me back to saying, you know, as much as you just think about it, right now we're a non-profit, but think about it. If you were studying with EC Council University, where I'm studying, and you have to pay close to $2,000 per month, per month. I'm not saying per per semester or per trimester year. I'm saying per month. And you study for about 24 months back to back. What kind of mindset? And this is this again, we are modeling that structure. That's what cyber vigil models exactly. In fact, still a little bit even lenient because you request for assignment extensions, they are granted here, right? Your labs, you just have one or two labs. Sir, maybe one of these days I'll, or maybe on the personal call, give you an overview of things that I've, because everything we are doing now are things that I've studied. I'm taking us through that same path. Why? Because I believe not everyone might have that, again, $2,000 to pay every month, right? To study cybersecurity. So let's have a Vigil bridge that gap. So what am I trying to say? You think about that, if you have to pay that amount of money, nothing would stop you from studying. You might just be sleeping safe. You don't remember say more 2K dollars. You wake up straight up that you understand I'm sleeping care. You want to console. Again, we are a non-profit organization. So but don't let these things, don't let them deter you because Cyber is moving, right? We are progressing towards accreditation. So don't think every effort that you put in this is just okay. Right now, it's a WhatsApp community. You said, please, you need to see beyond that, right? Because again, all these things that I'm talking about, accreditation, recognition, they are coming very at the pace that even I myself am not expecting, right? So and you don't want to hold a certificate that you cannot defend. We can't give you a certificate that you did not work for. So you must be ready to put in that resiliency that okay, this is not, look at it, look at your course schedule, you see that all the courses there, all the units there that you're studying, they are not, online courses, they are academic units. So you must be ready for that. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Don't again, I completely understand. I've been there. The past, the pioneering students have been there. I understand. Like it requires someone who is ready for it because this will prepare you. It will ground your foundation in cybersecurity, whereby after successful completion of the cyber vigilance program, you can then choose to okay, I want to become a penetration tester, I want to become a GRC analyst, I want to become an incident response. But again, you're not studying it in a specialized way, you are studying it in an academic way. So acquiring professional qualifications, certification, specializations is different from when you're studying something academically, which is the effects that you're seeing because you have to study, you have to research, you have to do the work. We won't spoon feed you. I wasn't spoon fed. Everything that I know in cybersecurity, all glory to God, is because of I also had to do research. So I quite understand it, but it's just how the journey is in cybersecurity. You must be ready. So I'll just encourage you to try to see how not just you, I mean everyone, how we can manage our time. And I understand these live sessions. Again, we're supposed to have had this like on Tuesday, so maybe the class would have called for another live session. Then today will be like a second live session where we'll go through all these materials together. So it should just make it the burden a little bit. You guys understand I'm here to answer your questions, those types of things. But I understand again, because of the webinar we had and things, that also we need to push forward for cyber vigil. So I hope you can understand with me and I hope what I'm saying makes sense.
Yeah, I'm following along. Though I still have my own personal doubt. I'm not discouraged, sir. I know
Mm,
how my time is and how I should spend it in the day and the time I have to sacrifice for cyber vigil. Yeah, and to me, and like I say, to me and the my responsibilities and other resources and other things I have to do throughout the day. I don't meet my daily quota for what I have to study to meet up with what I need to know.
mm,
So as you say, I have to consider my time management more. I will try to incorporate that,
mm,
but
mm.
it's still a challenge to me. I cannot just it's not something I can conquer overnight.
Yeah, I understand.
But
I
but
completely
but I would
understand. Yeah, well done, well done. I always commend everyone that, up until this point, especially once it gets to the second. I told you guys, like, I told everyone that from the first week we introduce you, second week, trust me, from the third week, in fact, from next week, you already start working on projects. So it's not going to get much, it's not going to get easier. It's only going to get so that's just it. I'm not trying to scare or you know intimidate. Now, I'm not trying to create that, but I'm just saying it only gets more interesting, more better, more deeper. So you also have to be prepared. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. But it will be interesting because at the end of this term, trust me, okay, wow, you would have learned, you would have, that's how it is. So yeah, let's thank you for that, actually, Mr. Temita, because I felt we needed to have that discussion. Right? It was, yeah, Mr. Samuel. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. So that we can go into something today.
Yes, good evening.
Thank sir.
I have a question and a concern too. Just like Mr. Falana said, I'm
Uh,
caught in between work schedules and meeting up with this class. I really love cybersecurity. I myself, I have a Google certification on cybersecurity already. But while I was studying it, I was traveling, and also I was always on the road doing the most of the work. Even my course hour was in between. I know I missed a lot of things because I wasn't able to listen to the lectures, but I was reading instead of listening to the videos. But my question is this: about the assignments so far that you have given us. I've not even done the first one, to be honest, because I'm traveling. I'm on the road right now, and do we have time limit, or is there? Do you have enough time for us to take our time to submit, even no matter how late it is, to be able to do it?
are you new to the class or you've been with us from the orientation?
No, no, no. I'm new from the orientation. Yeah, I was here from the orientation.
Okay, so I already mentioned this. We have Sunday to Sunday. So you notice that the assignment drops Sundays at latest Monday morning in Nigerian time because there's a time difference. But it drops, it's a Sunday to Sunday time frame that you have for every week deliverable documents for you to make your submissions before in the following Sunday 11:59 p.m. Anything after that is considered a late submission, which definitely would imply 10% deduction from your grades. So whatever it is you submit, 10% will be deducted from the total grade of it. Now, why is that? Because again, you have Sunday to Sunday. This is not and look, by term two, every one of us that scales through this term one, because your grades are being assessed, right? Your grades are being assessed. Once you scale through term one to term two, you're going to be doing three. We all have a course schedule. We'll be doing 3 units. But I would like to ask because these are one of the criterias that keeps you as a student here at Cybervigi. You must be adhering to your due diligence, and that due diligence is that you're submitting your assignment time timely, you're attending live sessions like right now, things like that. Now, it's important that you do these things, because again, if you don't, you kind of lose that membership, or that being a student. You don't submit your assignments, you don't attend live sessions, you lose it. Again, if you do this for consecutive times twice, because this is a program that runs following a BSc structure. So it's more like you're attending an online university. I don't know why it's a little bit different, or maybe I don't understand what the issue really is. When it comes to maybe we accustoming ourselves to an online university setting. But again, if you're studying in an online university, if you haven't before and you're considering this, what you're experiencing here is more like what you'll be experiencing. So Cyber Vigil very soon from WhatsApp, everything would switch up to even these live sessions, logging into the live sessions from an online website, from a website, right? Your assignments will be uploaded there. All you need to do is module 1, week 1, you go to that module, you see the assignment, the same way you're seeing them on your WhatsApp, the same delivery I'm sending to the class on WhatsApp, you see them there. You submit your assignments will also be submitted online as well. Your live sessions like this, you join online. Once you don't submit your assignment after the expected date, which is 11:59 the following Sunday, a late penalty will be automatically applied. Now, there's still that grace right here, because you can request an extension. But when we transition to this, upgrade, when we get this upgrade where everything is now being done online, maybe that would help us, that would also shape our perspective of, okay, now this is becoming, because, for me, it feels like maybe the operations, why we're still being operational on WhatsApp, there's that, and again, I don't know, maybe because we're running non-profits, there's no sort of, I'll say there's no sort of maybe financial commitment, because if you definitely make the commitment, especially financially, because I cited an example for myself, how much I pay monthly to study, right? If there's that commitment, you would find a way to do everything you need to do to make sure that you're submitting, because you want to come out with good grades. You want to pass the course with a good grade, right? So, thanks to my sponsors, people who are there to help me to see that up until this moment, I'm still studying with EC Council, but it's not easy, right? $2,000 every month. It's not beans. That's over 2 million monthly. So, but again, we are non-profit. There's no sort of you're not requiring to pay a dime to gain the knowledge as you would gain if you study from any of these universities. Even so, if you look at what we do here, our structure is even more rigorous, because again, I want to emulate how I was groomed, is how I also want to impact as well to my community, or to the community where I find myself. So it's still what's still talking about the loop, what's in the loop. It's still back to you. You have to know how to manage your time. You have to put your consciousness into, okay, I'm studying in an online university. I want to acquire a degree. That's what it is all about. Sincerely speaking, that's what it's all about. You're not studying, you're studying to acquire a degree in cybersecurity. I've spoken about the accreditation, the recognition that are coming fast-paced even than I expect, right? So very soon I'll be in the country in Nigeria. I'm coming to do necessary things. This there are just some information that should be kept in-house, because this is being recorded and will be available online. But again, to ensure that your certificate that will be offered to you, they will be valid, they will be recognized. All these things needs to be done, right? So you need to merit it. 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 So I think we all need to re-engineer our consciousness that, okay, this thing is not a online, this is not Coursera or Udemy. No. This is a university. That consciousness needs to dawn on it needs to set in. Then that time it will help us to understand better, right? That's how I feel. Whatever it is that I say, I will still circle around this. I don't want us to dwell on with repetition. But that's all it's about. So I don't know if anyone has anything to say regarding that, any question. But if we're still lingering or we're still talking about this, we're just going to be, going over a loop, which you just need to prepare your mind, set in, get clocked in. This is a university. It's like I'm studying at a university and online because that's what it's going to be in Nigeria soon, like in no time. So again, you need to merit the certificate that will be given to you, everyone. You need to merit it. I don't know. Any questions, anything regarding what I'm saying, or is anyone finding anything? These live sessions are designed for us to ask questions on what we've read, research you've made, questions you have regarding deliverable documents, technical questions, right? On your labs, on the documents, on your assignments. That's the essence of this routine of this live session, right? It's not for us to, because these things I've said them in the orientation, trying to prepare our mind, trying to orientate or reorientate us, right? But again, I understand. If I say I don't, I lie. I do understand. But I pray that with time, you guys get really clocked in of what is happening, where you are in, what you've chosen to commit yourself to, right? That's what it is. That's what cybersecurity is. And this is just even week 2. Come on. You have about 4 more weeks to go because this will go up until week 6. So we all need to be on the same frequency of studying, asking questions, the lab, solving things. Yeah. To be honest, right now, because I would have gone up and spun up a lab right now just to help us to, again, elaborate on what we'll be studying, maybe theoretically or even practically your labs. But with these questions that I'm even getting right now in class, I'm sorry, I don't even feel like it will be the right time because it feels like we haven't read or some of us have not even gone through some materials enough to be able to maybe, right? Because the foundation really is important. What we are doing right now is really important. I'm not trying to say no one is reading or nobody's reading, but yeah, Mr. Samuel, go ahead, sir, please. I don't even think you were here to listen to most of what I've said, but thank God it's been recorded anyways. So I try to address your comments. Right. Anyone else, please? Any question? Any comments? Anyone? No one is asking any question.
Hi. Okay. Hi,
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr. Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, guys. Yeah, so I didn't want to attend this meeting at the office because I was going to I was going to like extra hours, so I needed to just join. So sorry for joining me late. So I think I have a clue of what you mean and what you're trying to digress here. Yes, sacrifices has to be made. Fully agreed. Okay. Personally, this is my second class I'm taking on cybersecurity. It was one I took and we had just think less than 2 weeks. And also because of job and all, which is not an excuse, of course. I couldn't really catch up on it and all. And I think the way it is, I think few of us don't understand that it's not based on your own timing. There's actually a timeline for this. Yes, the materials roll out. Personally, it has not been easy. Okay, but still, I need to have it at the back of my mind that if you actually want to do a course on cybersecurity, then trust me, I don't think I have the dollars to even spend. I had to do my CC exam like twice. In fact, it was the second time I passed it, and I know how much I spent for it. Okay, and this was not it was any practical class, but thanks to you, that we're actually getting something practical, and there are labs to actually do. If anybody has attempted doing any exam on that's on sorry, what's the name of that platform again? I'll try to remember, which is the foundation. That's on ISC Square. Everybody knows ISC Square is expensive, trust me. ISC Square, from being a member of the ISC Square group in quotes, it would ask you to pay everything you have to pay and all. So we really appreciate what you're doing. I know most of us here are actually doing 9 to 5. We have our businesses and all. So I know the more we tend to delve more into this, it would actually encourage Mr. Ayomide to actually want to give his best. Yes, everybody's studying, everybody's working. It's not easy. Okay, personally, it's not easy for those of us doing 9 to 5, but no, but it's just a sacrifice. On behalf of everyone here, I'll just tell you, probably you might just have to bear with us. Yes, I understand submission of assignments coming late, but in my own view, it will make sense because everyone is submitting their assignment, but yet you're not actually putting much pressure into giving your deliverables a bit of value. I don't know if I, I don't know if you understand, because yes, people would read through and people want to submit, but the most important thing is I'd rather prefer filling my labs. So at least I know I have looked somewhere and I can actually bring it 40 and I can actually explain that I wanted to score like 100% in it. That shows I have a defect somewhere, and there are some areas I actually need to strengthen up and all. So I just want to say this on behalf of me myself. I actually appreciate this. I actually appreciate this a lot. There's no excuses to actually being the best in this, and to actually putting in an extra effort into this. So please bear with us, okay? We would give our best. Some of us are actually new to this. I know we have like probably people that are actually new into this. I think aside from Mr. Steven, because I had the question he asked the last time on, that's during the live session of ransomware. And I think he has an IT background like myself. But I think for the rest of us, some of us here are rookies, and I kind of try to put myself in the shoes of these people. If I don't have like an IT background or I don't understand the nitty gritty about this, it's quite hard to want to express or ask questions and all. Guys, you need to ask questions. Trust me. No, in fact, nobody is an expert here. I try not to ask some technical questions and all, so that it doesn't seem like I already have an idea on this and all. I try to learn from everybody. I jot down every questions, both silly questions and questions that looks like it's not IT related. So really appreciate you. I appreciate. I try as much as possible not to miss out classes. I try to read the few I can during my lunch break and all. But our deliverables will definitely come. Like you said, we started the class. I think we started with like almost 20 people when I checked the first attendance, and we are like, how many here? I don't know. I guess maybe six. I think we are less than 12 or 15. So I really appreciate, and I'd also advise every one of us really need to give it our best. It's not easy, yes, it's crazy, but still, I think once we give our best, it would also encourage Mr. Ayomidi to actually want to go further with us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for that. Honestly, while you were saying, while you were saying those very powerful um words, right? I was just looking for my pen because I wanted to jot down something very important you said. You said, people need to ask questions, but again, for you to ask questions, you must have read something, because you ask question of something that you need much more clarification on. So there's that part of you doing your due diligence, which is by reading. And there was something else that I was also going to say, which is kind of escaped my mind now, but I believe I'll remember. So, but yeah, like you said, yeah, I I understand, right? The whole, but again, yeah, it is this is how we study, this is how we learn. We have to put in some work, man. um I'm not I mean, with us, we submit our assignments like today. I was still seeing a week one assignment that was submitted like much more later. I mean, yeah, I'll still look at it. I'm looking at I read everything, because I also learn from, I also learn from everyone, right? So, okay, we spent some time, around about 30 minutes, discussing this. So yes, we have to read, research, then come to the class to ask questions. But you must do some homework. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sorry, please. I have a question with AY. Sorry if you don't
yeah,
mind.
sure, sure.
That's your question. Okay, so I'm just particular about the networking aspect of this class. I don't know when it's
Mm,
going to come in.
mm,
Um, I'm actually, I don't know, I'm actually hoping maybe you could, just for the sake of clarity, if that's from the different, that's the network layers and all. I don't know, probably for the sake of clarity, maybe there's going to be like maybe an extra emphasis on that, since I think that one is kind of practical. I think it's going to be a lab thing. So,
mm.
so that's
Yes.
so that's about
Yeah. So by term two, that is for this set. By term two, we would have a course that is on computer network security, firewalls, and VPN. So during that course, it's more like it's a unit on its own. That's why I said, that's how we are studying here, right? So this term we're doing fundamentals of information security policies and implementation issue. Next term, this in fact this the pioneering set next they'll start this courses that I'm about. They'll do introduction to social psychology. They'll do uh the computers network security, firewalls and VPN, and then one other course as well. So that's what I'm saying, right? That how the courses are designed. Just trying to pull that up. Okay, I have it here. I'll just pull it up. Someone raising their hands. Can you see my screen?
All right. Good
Yeah,
evening.
yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening, sir.
Yeah, sincerely, I want to appreciate, let me say, great mentor here in person of Ayomide. The kind of passion that you have, the zeal, the energy you are putting into doing this is nothing to compare about. As in, I've been asking myself that what has been your source of motivation in doing this in this
Mm,
time, especially when you were talking about the kind of amount you paid, in getting this education, getting this value that you are giving out for free. Sincerely, people like you are not common in the world now. And I believe Cyber Vigil is going places. This is just
mm,
to tell you that you are doing a wonderful job, and God will elevate you higher beyond what you ever think of.
mm,
Just I pray God will continue to keep you to achieve your vision, your goal. I
mm,
must commend your efforts.
mm,
You are doing very, very well, and I pray that God will continue to back you up and provide
mm,
support all that you
mm,
need. I see
mm,
this platform as an opportunity and a real privilege, and I don't want to miss it. I don't want to abuse it. I don't want to just take levity of it. Though, like other colleague has been talking about time, sincerely, it has not been easy. That's not
mm,
been easy. But sometimes I ask myself that if I'm paying for this, won't I create time for it? Because when you see your dollars as in burning, you want to get value for it. So I say no, I shouldn't just take this with levity, and it has never been easy, and it will not be easy. One just have to put in that sacrifice, and it's just for a while. Then one can pick up life afterward, and just prioritize what one need to do in terms of achievement, because I believe this is a very good platform that we can leverage to, especially some of us that has flair and feel to go into cybersecurity. So I see this as a good platform to learn, to grow, and to acquire the necessary skill. You know, I see
Mm.
this as a soft landing, and I must appreciate your effort in this. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. Then
No, thank you, sir.
my question that I would like to ask is on the week two assignment, and
Mm.
the 803 part of it is where I want to ask question, where we are to uh, is about the security policy implementation. Then we have to prepare a 5-page report to present to our director, which include, talking about type of information security policy, and there are a couple of them. But from the case study, it has been broken down into functional organization like the managerial, technical, and employee. So my question is, are we going to prepare a list of this information? Because the CPA say create a list of at least 20 to 25 policy per functional team. So I'm looking at it that, are we creating 20 to 25 policy for managerial, technical, and employee? So I just want to get clarification to that part of the question. And considering the number of pages, oh, okay, so it's minimum of 5 pages, so it could be more. So I was thinking it's total of 5 pages. That it might be more than that if we are going to do 20 to 25 policy per
Yeah.
functional team. And since we have functional team to be managerial, technical, and employee, so I just want to seek some clarification around that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you, sir.
Just
Just
okay. So yeah, the assignment oh my god. Okay, just 1 second, please. I'm having a call. It's okay, just go. Sincere apologies, class. I had to, go on a call. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. First off, I have to appreciate those words. I do appreciate, sir. Thank you, sir. Then on the assignment, yes. So we have different security or information security policies, right? So the assignment is just expecting you to pick how many of those policies now. So you create a list of 20 to 25 policies per functional team. So another thing you have to look at there is, identifying the functional teams of the organization, right? Um, so it could be on access control, could be on password policies. You just, something that, of course, that, okay, let's say, for instance, as a security professional, you you are appointed maybe in, this is well, we can still relate it to this scenario, but thinking about it as a life scenario now, real life scenario, I'll say, you are being called upon maybe by a new company, right? Not a company that has not a company that's already established and probably has a parent company, and they're opening a branch or a new branch. This is an entire new company, right? And you are called upon as a security professional. So, okay, we want to now start a business, let's say a bank, for instance. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is, this is a financial company, right? So I'm just giving this scenario to help us understand what this assignment is. So you think, okay, so what standards? The first thing you want to look at are the frameworks. So what are the frameworks that guides, fintechs, institutions or organization, right? Or as you call it, you look at PCI DSS as one. Now, under PCI DSS, that standards, procedures, that you need to follow. Now, you look at these things, you look at the procedures, you look at the standards. From there, you formulate your policies, right? From there, you identify the different operational teams or functional departments, HR, technical, sometimes the network department don't need to have anything to do with the HR. Sometimes the HR don't need to have anything to do with the IT. Sometimes the IT don't need anything to do with the account. So you identify those functional teams, and then based on that, you create, a functional security or information security policies that would help them. So there are functional differences here, like the managerial, technical, and employees. So you create those policies, and then it's saying it has to be a minimum of 5 pages, right? So it's, I mean, the answers are already there on the, I could have pulled up maybe a sample, but I like us to always get creative, because whatever I'll show you right now is something that I did. But I like us to get creative with how we also respond to our questions, because, when it comes to security, again, I like to read everyone's work, because how we all approach security is completely different. But that's why we have these frameworks. That's why we have, more like this environment that guides us, that keeps us into a certain confinement. So, but I know, whichever way you choose to answer the question, definitely you'll be bringing your own experience, you'll be bringing your own ideas. So, but yeah, it's basically that for the assignments. So, yeah, I don't know if I was able to. And if you're doing a research, you must make sure that you properly cite those things, right? Of course, you can research on this. There are a lot of resources definitely that would aid preparing the preparation of these reports. So I just gave a scenario that should help us, or just give us an understanding. So, yeah, so guidelines for purchasing technologies, contracting services, privacy in the use of work tools, user access. So I'm just seeing that access control, authentication, and definition of rights and privileges. So there you start thinking of privilege of the least privilege, Abby. Yeah, the least privilege access, things like that. Role-based access, those are all control, those are all policies, role-based, mandatory attributes, the likes like that. Password policies, part of it. You can get as creative as you want in a scenario whereby maybe you might choose to, even put in cloud security policies in this. It's just how you decide to go creative, right, with the assignment. So, yeah, I'm just reading it and I'm already, yeah. So that's what it is. I don't know, sir, if I was able to maybe answer your question. Was that sufficient?
Yeah. Thank you. I think you've answered the question. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So So again, like I said, if you're acquiring, if you're employed to okay, Mr. Nmasi, yeah, go ahead. Hope I pronounce your name right. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, good evening. Good evening,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Um,
sir.
Please, this page of this assignment I am seeing. Sorry,
Yeah.
network has been very poor here. Raining in Port Harcourt, so I've just been going on and off. But this assignment for CVU 803,
Mm.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it for the first time. Was it posted on the WhatsApp group? I can't find the job.
It's there. It's there. It's there. If you got this deliverable document, then you should definitely. This is week two's deliverable, yeah. So yeah,
Okay,
it is
okay,
there. You
okay,
just have
okay.
to go down and then you find the assignment. Yeah.
Scroll down. Oh, I think that was where I made the mistake. I didn't scroll down. Okay, okay. Thank you. That was what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So again, if you think about it, right? So you're a security professional after graduating from Cyber Vigil University. A company approaches you and say, okay, we want to, or a bank approaches you, we want to start our own industry, our own banking system. And the first things you want to, like I said, you start from those things. Okay, you're going to be operating under this framework, under this standard, which ISO standard, things like that. Then the next thing is the types of tools, the technologies they would use, right? And then you think again in the security aspect, because that's your job, right? Okay, this SIM tool, what SIM tools are you going to use? You want to know, okay, how do we integrate them? Because one thing that is your primary one thing that's your primary objective is how the environment is, how they all communicate together. The network system, again, you configure networks, you get those things up and going, right? Then you want to also have a central station or a central workstation where logs from all, because again, when you set these policies, it's not just about setting it, because you will definitely have auditors who would come in and see that, okay, you are adhering to these policies that were set. That's why we have roles like the system information certified information security auditors, right? The CISs. So you have to prepare, because when they come into your organization, they look at, okay, are you actually adhering to this? So the audit, but again, at your in-house level, right, you want to ensure that these communications, this synchronization between these logs, your network security, all these things are intact. You have your internal network, your external network, you have what technology communicates to the public, what is staying inside. If you have your demilitarized zone, if you have your honeypots, what type of honeypot, backups, storage. So a lot of things will go into place. So even storage policies could be part of the policies that so we talk about in the life cycle of information, or the life cycle of data. How is it disposed? How is the data? So you see, again, I'm just elaborating on this topic is already helping me, and with the scenario I'm giving is already helping me. Okay, this is how far I can go with this policy, this assignment, right? So you have storage policies as well, backups, even again, like I said, the life cycle of the policies. How is access to that storage controlled, right? You think about these things. So I, I, if I do the whole of, we can use the whole of today's class to just talk about this assignment, and we'll not even exhaust how far we can go with it, right? There's a lot of things, authentication. Under authentication, you want to look at, okay, are we, doing a single sign-on? If we're doing a single sign-on, how are we accounting for, each of those authentications? What technologies, those technologies, the policies that comes with them, adhering to those policies, ensuring that, okay, if we're integrating third-party applications, what NDAs are we signing? It will just start. Again, this is how you think about it as a security professional, that a company or a firm approached you. Okay, we want to have you work with us. So that's all about that assignment. That's a good question, sir. So that's all about the assignment. Just get creative with it, right? Um, for those of us that use artificial intelligence, you can, everything I've said, if you said to type it to ChatGPT, it will give you wonderful answers. Trust me. As a lighter note, though. So that's about the assignments, right? I think I've even said a lot. So from the learning objective, there's the types of access control, define authorization policies. Like I think I just briefly said that identification method and guidelines, what authentication processes are, accountability. I was just thinking about the triple A, which is the authentication, accountability, and authorization. We also have the formal models of access controls, the effect of access control violations, things like that. So yeah, so this one again, okay, so Richman Investment approached you and they have operations, within Nigeria and globally, and then they are asking, what are they asking of? Okay, so they want a remote access control policy, right? So that means, okay, they have their headquarters where in, let's say they have their headquarters in Lagos. So yeah, their headquarters in Lagos. And then they want to create branches. So, I mean, the scenario I was giving earlier was, this is even much easier, but again, this is on paper. So it's different from, what happens, but it will give you an idea of how it actually happened because again, it's from the real life experiences that we're able to put things on paper. But looking at this, it will be much easier for you to just, if this was a live scenario, you call a meeting with those in the Lagos headquarters. What is the already existing security policy? And then you want to make sure that that's different from having a new firm, there's no parent company and you have to do that. But yeah, so for this Abuja, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, Kano, I think so Mr. Master was just saying rain is falling in Port Harcourt now. So Kano and Jos. So now you think, okay, if rain is falling in Port Harcourt, that means that the type of systems or types of backups that we need to have in such kind of state needs to be, they need to be able to withstand certain weather conditions. I'm telling you real life things. I'm not just saying this because Mr. Mas, it was a good scenario, that you even said it. So now you know that there's network issues. So when rain falls in Port Harcourt, as a security professional, you must be able to think, okay, how can we increase the bandwidth based on weather conditions during this? These are real life things I'm telling us that once we get into the field, right, we will see. But again, before we get to the field, we must study, we must read, we must show resiliency, we must be passionate about it. That's why I always keep on saying, cyber vigil might be rigorous, but it's for a purpose because it will help you to prepare you for the main game. You finish, you graduate from this university and you are standing competitive because of the amount of the work that you didn't just pass through, but you also let the institution pass through you. So yeah, you create a remote policy that would help them to access, storage, applications, data, things like that, right? So any questions around this? Is there anything that I've said? I'm saying this is again apologies. We should have done this earlier, like on Tuesday, so that you have time to go through and do these questions, yeah, or these assignments. But so far, with how I'm explaining, I hope everyone is help us, understanding the concept and how to approach answering these questions. So there are also labs that would give you some understanding, like authorization, this privilege, security patching, attribution and accountability, the CIA triad. These labs will help give you. Again, as the week goes by, you get your hands more, I'll say dirty. So I just want to say well done to everyone. To be honest, like well done. And like everyone that is still here, still pushing through. It's come on, I have to give you the accolades. It will be so unfair if I don't also like give you your accolades because I know what it takes. But this is the price that you are paying, right? This is the price that you are paying. And the analogy is everything that blossoms, every tree that you see, that every fruit, maybe an apple or that you eat, that you like, that is your favorite, that you see, they grew from the inside. So once the seed is planted, it first of all grows downwards silently. No one hears what is how. I don't know if anyone here, maybe you can correct me. If you've planted pepper before and you are hearing the pepper growing, you don't. No one sees it, but it grows downwards first. Then it gets to an extent, it begins to blossom. It comes up, and then you can even go to your farm and then start plucking, right? So just think about that. That's what you're doing right now. No one is seeing this price you are paying. There's no time. You have to attend to family. I have to respect that for everyone. Again, on a personal level, I'm not saying this on a professional, because if it's on a professional level, any company that employs you or demands something, you have to fulfill. So, but on a personal level, I must show that understanding. So, but what am I trying to say? You have to manage family, work, this thing, 9 to 5, and you're still, no one is seeing this now. That's you planting, that's you growing. By the time you begin to blossom, and then, even people start seeing how you communicate, how you contribute to, you know, the security community, and then they are now plucking from your knowledge. Then now you begin to see the I'll say the fruits of this labor that you're putting in. So it's not easy, like Mr. Stephen rightly said. I love how he put, like, it's never going to get much easier. So now that we even have it that is even like this, let's just let's just accept it and just but I can assure you, right? Again, I put up the schedule. I hope everyone can see this schedule clearly. Everything is designed to prepare you for the field, to prepare you for cyber security, right? To prepare you for cyber security. You can even see courses here like Introduction to Social Psychology. There's also project management here as well. So, and so on. You do fundamentals of Python. Don't worry, you just the fundamentals, but you need that, you know, um, even much later, because this schedule, of course, is not yet complete. I'm still working on it, building on it, making sure that we are progressing with it. It's not just, nah. It's a structure. It's, there's a plan. Then this actually is towards the certified ethical. So after this course, you should be able to even start sitting for certifications, right? Just even while you are still studying. That's how it's designed here. While you are still studying, to complete our BSc program, you can sit for certification, Security Plus, CEH, CND, name the certifications, right? I mean, if many of us are really, really, taking the deliverables serious, you're studying, from this first month, from these courses here, these 2 courses, you can start attempting certified in cybersecurity and make it once. You can attempt Security Plus, and make it once. So that's how it is, right? So yeah, so that's that about the schedule. So again, it's still ongoing, and then you can expect more courses to complete a tenure of about roughly around 12 months, and then you're good to go, right? And then at master's level, you can decide what you want to do. But yeah, so that's that about that. And then 803, I think we talked about 803, and then yeah, there's the lab for 803. So I intend to work on some customized labs, because I want it. Again, Cyber Million is a very great platform. You get, don't worry, why we progress with this, you understand what I'm trying to say. It's a good platform, right? Cyber Vigil, we want to have our own custom labs, whereby it's integrated. Again, I made mention of the website coming up, so you would have our own labs where you have customized labs from Cyber Vigil tailored to every. Yeah, I have to go to Cyber Million, look at it. Okay, this one aligns, so that everyone, you're getting the practical knowledge, you're also assimilating the theoretical knowledge, and it's making sense. So why that is done, it will be data information will be available to all of us, right? So as we progress. So yeah, any questions? We'll spend an hour. I mean, right now, I feel like okay, today we've done something, but if you want us to spend another hour, but we have to do something, something. I wanted to, like I said, I really wanted to spin up. I was going to spin up. I'm a Yoruba, boy, so and even if my English, sometimes, but yeah, I was going to actually, spawn up lab, and then like, okay, let's do some, but the lab might be could be advanced. So I need to see that to an extent because these labs will just they will it's like again, like I said, when you plant, the one who goes to the farm to fertilize, he doesn't care what was planted, whether it was fundamentals of information security that was planted, security policies and implementation issues, architect. It doesn't. I don't care what our the fertilizer. Personnel just goes there and sprinkle these fertilizers. So it could be corn, pepper. They all benefit. So the lab, that's the same thing the lab would do. The lab will just you will just see that, okay, in network I saw this one. Oh, in fundamentals of information security I saw. So that was what I wanted to do, just to take us that way, because again it helps. It's just watching our knowledge at every angle. That's what the lab would do. But I need to see that, okay, even we from maybe we come to live sessions like this, you ask some questions and I'm like, oh, okay, I know. Somebody has read. I will know from the questions we ask. Oh, somebody has read. Then I'll be confident that, okay, let's go and do these labs. You understand? So we can also tackle ourselves again from those labs. So I actually wanted to do that today, but when some of us have said that we even need some time for the deliverables. And on the deliverables, you can just see the labs that are here are just very pretty much easy lab, like these labs are just helping us to get prepared. So I always like that we don't jump things, we grow into. That is the best way to enjoy cybersecurity, is growing. So don't worry, even if we don't do the labs today, we have much time together, we'll do it. But again, I need to see that we are putting in that effort, like we are really, really yeah. So that's it. So any questions before we call it a day today, except if anyone has plans for me, or maybe you want to take me out because I need to be taken care of like this. I deserve enjoyment and to be taken care of. Yes, someone has raised. Mr. Nelson, please go ahead, sir. Please.
Okay.
Yeah, network in Nigeria, I understand. It's very bad. Mr. Nelson, okay, I think you should join back and then we can. Aside Mr. Nelson, anyone else? Anyone, any question, any contribution, any observation, any anything in general, right? It doesn't even have to be cyber security or anything. Anything. Let's have a discussion for the next few minutes before we call it a day. Anyone? And if there are none, then we can just call it a day. Yes, Mr. Nmas, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening once again. And please, I
Yes.
want to ask on the window vulnerability and patching.
Hmm.
If, for instance, um, let's use Windows for instance. Um, I have Windows installed in my system, and after some time, it's now discovered that there is a vulnerability in the version of Windows that we're actually using at that point. And
Hmm.
due to that vulnerability, maybe a hacker or an attacker exploits that vulnerability, and we lose some of our information or data as a result of that.
Hmm.
If let's say, for instance, that we're in Nigeria, if you want to maybe make a complaint about it, is it you make a complaint to a particular agency or you make a complaint directly to Windows or like I don't know that
Hmm.
the proper channel of complaining. That is what I just want to know.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I get your question. I like that question. It's an interesting one. So, um, first of all, you need to because it's your personal system, right? If it was in your organization, you definitely know your organization would you report that situation to maybe your head of department. Then your head of department will look at it because that's more like an event. yeah, or I might refer to it as an incident as well, right? So an event is more like, okay, um, you get a notification that a system, maybe your battery or your server is overheating. That's an event. Now, if that server overheats and then actually crashes, then that's an incident. But if I get your question right, you say maybe lose that. So that's why I say I might also refer to that as an incident. So if it's you're in an organization, you report to your head of department, he looks at the situation and then will probably, look at what was lost. Personal data and information lost. Was this part of details or information data that was lost? Those types of things where anything that has to do with maybe PCI, there's maybe monetary financial data, financial information, maybe people's credit card. Because what you're saying, I believe you're just taking it at a personal level, but I'm bringing it as as in a more bigger scenario, right? So definitely there are, because again, if you've taken the ISC squared, either CC, CSSP, you understand what I'm trying to say. So you need to understand what framework guides your organization and what data was lost. So in that way you start, but again, it all starts from the granular level. So your Windows system, definitely Windows needs to be aware, okay, this is what occurred. Was it an external threat or an internal threat? First of all, these are things or questions that will be asked. Was it an internal threat? Was it someone from inside that maybe probably unplugged something or that type of thing, or plugged a malicious USB, something like that, that would be asked. Or was it external? Was it someone from outside? So that all that would guide, you know, what comes next, right? Okay, if it was someone from internal, definitely we know, okay, we need to maybe engage in more training and then fix the issue internally, right? Maybe go restore the backup, do things at that granular level. You was from external threats. Now it's not just your own data now, it's not just your personal data, but people's financial personal data. So it's going to leave the internal, it needs to be reported to that the agency, it could be at state or federal level, but definitely incident response team will take that up, and then definitely it will still involve these steps that I've said from Windows level, helping you to restore, get your data back. But it's important that you report the incident as well. So, but then if it's just on your personal computer or system, right, you just, of course, you need to maybe get a backup. If you need to report the incident, first of all, can you get your files back? That's one thing you need to look at, which is why backup is always very important. So there are incident response plan. These things that I'm telling you about right now, organizations would have already done it so that they know they don't start doing some things, because there's due diligence, there's due care, due diligence, due care. Due care is, Apple is selling this phone to you, right? They have their due care of making sure that the battery they put here is durable, it lasts. They tell you on the manual, charge it 2 to 5 hours, do this, do that. So they are telling your own due diligence is that you charge the phone 2 to 5 hours. So you do so. You have to also you have your part to play, whichever without Windows or any third-party application you're using also has their part to play. So that's due diligence. So all those things would have been done so that we don't start when incidents happen. We know that okay, we look at what has happened, the stages, okay, and then there are mitigation strategies to that. So, but on a personal level, can you recover your file back? So that's when you have to start looking at, did you back up your file? How can you recover it back? Sometimes like ransomware that we looked at, last on Tuesday, maybe your files are gone for life. Do you want to tell Windows that ransomware hit your laptop, and because you actually did you clicked on something or you downloaded something, so you've broken a chain. Do you understand? So there are some things that's why I said it's a very good question, because there are usually playbooks that are already, prepared to address issues like this, right? So, but again, I've explained it to you on an organizational stage and on a personal stage, right? So that's one thing that you need to do. Which is very important. Backups. I was going to. So, well, first of all, before I even go here, was I able to address your question? Did you understand? Um.
Oh yes, 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 I do.
Oh,
You
okay.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir. So this is one way that you can always do something. All right. So if you come to your control panel, I always encourage this on Mac. It's usually very easy. Now, what I'm about to show you, um, this will actually help you. But now I'm thinking about something which is very interesting. I might even throw this question to the class. But okay, first of all, let me show you. So you can actually do this. Um, you can always come and create a system image. This is usually very possible on. I was going to say it on what's it called on iOS, right? So you just have a system. It's called the system image. So it captures that point of your system and then you save it. So you can create a system image. It will capture everything on your system at that point, and then you can save it on an hard drive or an SSD, right? So if anything happens, now this is where it is important. If you capture it, let's say I set up this image right now on my SSD. Let's assume this is my SSD. Now remember, once I capture it, I'm capturing the state of my system as it is right now, the files, the applications. I store it here. I remove the connection. Now it's now an hot site. So it's external, it's isolated, it's segmented, right? If I download an application that has a malicious software into the system and corrupts everything into the system, I have a state already here, and I can just wipe that off and restore the state. So what does that mean? That means that it brings me back to the state before I download or before that malicious software take hold of my system. That's what the creation of this system image will do, right? So you can see it will ask you some questions. Where do you want to save this? Blah, 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 and the likes. You can also do the same on your Mac system. So like the incident you spoke about now, if something happens, you can, okay, there's a question, Mr. Emmanuel, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah. So my question goes like this. It's actually regarding the virtual machine. Okay, that's the VM. So in the case of there's an attack on my virtual machine, and I already have snapshots that are actually saved on that same virtual machine, and there's a threat that's actually taking effect. Is it possible for me to be able to roll back with the snapshots, or the
Yeah.
snapshot is still protected?
Yeah. So I think that's what is also called on the Mac systems. I think it's called snapshot. I was trying to also remember that. So yeah, once when you take a snapshot, it's like it's just like as it implies, you're snapping that state and you're keeping it somewhere. But the thing is, like we learned on Tuesday, always make sure that that snapshot is isolated as much as possible, right? Maybe you have it on a USB or you have it saved somewhere securely on the system. So if anything happens within that operational state of the system, now not the snapshot state, the operational state, maybe a virus, a malicious software, whatever it is, or a ransomware, like we studied, yeah, whatever it is, if it happens, what you can easily do is to maybe clear off that system, clear off that image, wipe it off, and then restore with the snapshot. So what that snapshot basically does is it brings you back to the functional state, right? Before anything happened. Mr. Emmanuel, does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does, because I'm actually asking this question because some years back, my where I work, we actually hit. It was actually around somewhere, like it was big time. Like we were locked outside. We could not access anything. Okay, it was that bad that activities were kind of suspended for like over 2 weeks. So like we had to start all over again. Our DRO, that's our disaster recovery site, we couldn't actually pick up anything. Like it was that bad. So like they actually had to rebuild like almost from scratch. So I
Mm,
know some of my servers were actually flagged off by audits. That was after the whole thing. We could not even recover, and what I normally do is I always do snapshots like on a weekly basis on some of my virtual machines, some of my
Mm,
virtual servers and all. But it just so happened that I couldn't even recover. Okay, so
mm,
that's why I'm actually asking this question because we have someone who heads our infrastructure. So normal we tell him that okay, this is what we want to do because he is actually because we own the servers, but of course we have a custodian,
mm,
so he charged and it was like all the snapshots were affected. So in my mind, I just felt okay, probably these snapshots were not saved, like they were not isolated from
mm,
or maybe
mm,
they were
mm.
actually saved in the same virtual machine, just the same way you said.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so yeah, so that was why I actually had to ask this question, like the possibility of the snapshot being affected once there's an attack
Yeah.
on the yeah, yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
So you're welcome, sir. So that's very important. That isolation is very important. So in an industrial setting, yeah, there's something that types of backups. We have what is called incremental backup. We have what is called inferential backup, right? Yeah, I think yeah, incremental and inferential. Yeah. Is it inferential now or differential? I think it's inferential. So what does this mean? This incremental as it state as it states it, this again, this is like in an industrial setting. So where maybe Apple, for instance, now or any of these companies, right, their servers, either they are backed up inferentially or incrementally. So incrementally means they have the state of yesterday's backup is the same, what okay, so that's the concept there now, because I don't want us to also mistake it. So incremental is incrementing on what was backed up yesterday. So we have the full backup of yesterday and today on it. So what was backed up yesterday, what was backed up today or today, then the same thing. Inferential is taking okay where we left off yesterday. So that part of where we left off yesterday, is what we continue on, today's, and then tomorrow's backup will be where we left off today. So you see, there's a difference. Let's not confuse that. Let's not mistake that. I hope I'm actually making sense now with that. With coming up with that concept. Yeah. So there's those types of backups that at an industrial level is usually employed. But yeah, that was a good one. Mr. Anmas, yeah, you still have a question?
Yes, yes, I do. The mentioning snap, it just reminded me of the question I've had in mind all this while. Um, I don't know if it's just me, but I actually been having challenges with the using the sample that you showed to us, or the template rather, to do my weekly deliverables on my
Mm,
system. Each time I put it on my MS Word, like I can't edit anything on it. I can't type anything on using the template or anything. So I want to know if it's just a challenge with me or if some other persons are experiencing the same challenge and what I can do about it. Then secondly, um, the lab assignment, you're supposed to take screenshots of them. But if you look at my lab assignment for last week, you notice that I actually took the pictures from my phone
no phone. Yeah.
before even going to submit. That is because I actually don't know how to take screenshots with the laptop. So if anybody has any idea and the person can help, please, the person should help me. Thank you.
Okay, so let me answer your question. So our first question, uh, okay, Mr. Ephraim. Let's hear from Mr. Ephraim. Mr. Ephraim.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my first of all, my apologies for joining. That's quite late. I'm on my way back from work. Even though I
Mm,
didn't start from work. However, so I have a question around the deliverables for last weekend. Because actually, I was actually expecting probably when we do assignments like this, probably we'll get feedbacks for some of us that are new to cybersecurity. So that will help us come better. Because when we get feedbacks as regards what we delivered at the month. And also, secondly, as regards the deliverables for this week, I have a question around what we talked about, where you mentioned, I think it's under CB 803, as regards the operations, the manager, about 25 policies or so. I just wanted some clarity around that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
give me a second.
let me start with although I already spoke about this assignment, right? Which it's recorded. So you can actually once this class is over, the recording will be available on YouTube, right? But don't worry, I'll just also touch it. But let me Mr. Master's question, if I remember. So yeah, the first one was on the okay, I think one was Mr. Massey, I'm so sorry. Okay, I think I remember one which is taking screenshots. Can you ask your questions again, please? Very quickly.
Okay. The first question I asked was the template, saying that I when I
Yeah,
put the template on my dashboard, I can't edit
yeah,
them to use them to submit my assignment. Then the second is
yeah,
on the screenshot.
yeah. So on Windows, Microsoft Word, you see enable editing. So you should be able to just easily click on that and then edit the document. So if I'm correct what you're asking, this is what you're asking, right? So but well, yeah, I'm already enabled to edit it here, but again, there would have been an option here that says enable editing, right? And then I click on it and then I can now edit, I can, write something or do anything, right, to that. So that's about that. Then screenshotting, usually, I don't know how it happens on anyone's else's system, but on mine, I have a command for it or yeah, keyboard prompt, which is the shift Windows and S. So if I click on that now, you see it will change. I don't know if it's reflecting on the meeting here, but from here I can screenshot. If I want to screenshot it, I can screenshot this. I don't know if we saw that right, but I just used the shift Windows and S shortcut. I was able to make a screenshot. And then on the document, you see enable editing somewhere around here. And then you once you click on it, it should enable you to edit the document. Yeah. But I've seen others that actually, yes, there's also the sniping tool. I've seen others that are submitting great assignments, yeah, right? Some of them are even like, I put an emoji that's to show that I looked at the assignment and it was excellently done. Yeah, so I want to believe maybe that's something that is peculiar to you, maybe your system, right? So maybe try to update your Windows, Microsoft Windows, and things like that. So Mr. Emmanuel is already dropping some things, sniping to F10, those types of things. So yeah, to Mr. Ephraim's question, uh, okay, so again, your assignment here, I look at the assignments, right? Those ones that just from looking at them on the WhatsApp group, I see how they were properly done. You see, I add some sort of annotations, right? Just WhatsApp annotations. But of course, your because everyone hasn't submitted the assignment, so there's usually a result sheet, right? The last or this the pioneering set, they get that result sheet more like weekly. But again, now if I put a result sheet in the group, everyone sees that result because there again, recommendations on your assignments are made like you asked to help you, identify how you should. So for those who haven't submitted, definitely the grade there will just, maybe they say zero grade and they will ask questions. And the idea is everyone submits the assignment the same time, so you get the result sheet. Everyone sees their result. A very good question. So everyone sees their results, sees their grades, things like that, knows area of improvement. But you know, even up to now, some assignments are still pending. So and if there's a result sheet that comes out, that means that one will still have to go back to make sure that everybody has. So so those things might affect, which is why once we start operating from an online state very soon by the grace of God, right? Once you submit, you can see your grade immediately, things like that to be personal to you. So I hope that actually helps or answers your question. I think that was the first question I asked. What was the second one, Mr. Ephraim, sir? Or was that all you
The
asked?
second,
Okay, yeah,
yes, the
yeah.
second
The
one,
second one was
just more clarity.
on the assignment. Yeah, yeah, I remember. So on this assignment, it's I spoke about it, but because you asked, and yeah, that's why I'm here. So you need to you need to think very creative about this. Okay, there's already feedback. Great. That Mr. Imasi said he has tried it now and it worked for him. Great. So you need to think about this assignment and elaborate on it as much as possible. If you watch the recordings, I'll have to say that because I spoke on it, yeah. So I'll just be doing a repetition, but I hope I can do it as great as I did the first time. So there are a lot of policies, password policies, storage policies, um, um, think about it, authentication policies, authorization policies, accounting policies, log policies. So they are there. And there are functional teams here that have been identified for you, managerial, technical, and employees. So that means some policies that would be applicable for managerial will not be applicable for employees. Yeah, because there are some things that the employee should be able to read that the managerial will be able to read and write, and then the technical will be able to read, write, and modify. So you understand those things like that. What am I trying to talk about? I can pull up something right now that would basically just sort out this assignment. So let me bring this up now. For instance, let's look at this, right? So we have this file. Let's say I have this file and I want to open it and I want to say the properties, right? So now I'm here. Okay, so let's say now this is the properties of this file, right? Remember, I'm still on this assignment, so this is the department. This is a folder for a department. I am the instructor. We have the students. We have, let's say, the class representative. So at that level, let's say I should be able to read, write, and modify. The class representative should be able to read and write, then the class members should be able to read, right? So if you look at the security aspect of it, you see some controls. We have the full control, modify, read and execute, list folder content, read and write, like I just made mention of, right? So on that, this just here alone, and you may probably decide to go advanced. You see some other things. Now you can see there's even auditing. So there could be an auditing policy as well, right? So what am I trying to say? So you look at the permissions, right? So who's able to read, write, who's able to modify, now I'm just looking at this because, this video will be posted, but I think there might not be anything as sensitive right here. But just to help you to understand, right? So you see all these permissions right here, they already, already explains what this different functional team or these different functional departments, would definitely also relate with when it comes to modifying all the permissions for this system, right? So a manager, if this is a manager system right now, what I want to do is probably I want to edit some permissions maybe for again, remember, if you were a manager, there will be your group here, managers group. If you're a technical, there will be technical group. If they're employees, there will be employees group. So let's assume system is the managers. Your media which is my file, or my system is let's say, is the technical. So I can decide to come here and then make some modifications, right? Right. I can decide to maybe give the deny here or give access or do so. But I'm actually going to, I'm just making this example just to explain to you certain policies, but this is for again the permissions policies, right? So if I decide to um switch this up, let me go for something again that you can also understand. Uh, but I hope that was able to give you some understanding. This is not let me see. This is not a Windows server, right? But Okay, so let's take for instance here, right, on this part, what you can see on your screen right now, right? So another thing you want to look at is uh okay, let's say on the logs. Well, for here, these are more like logs, but I'm looking for uh yeah, these are more of logs, and everything you're seeing right here is just part of, some of these policies or some of these logs that you're seeing here should only be viewed or should only be something that the technical department can read, right? It should not be something that will be accessible maybe to employees, right? Because as a technical guy, you want to know when an employee logged in or um, uh, how they logged into their accounts. You expect that an employee that owns their account knows their password. So once they log into a system, the password should only have been imputed once. So you don't want to see maybe you know um, a failed password log on, right? Because you won't believe, you should know your password, you should know your login details. So this is where you can come, but again, that would be available only to the technical guys. They will be the only one that knows or can view those event logs, right? Okay, I think someone is raising their hands. Yeah, is there a question? Sure, go
Sorry
ahead.
to stop your class, but is it just me? I'm not seeing what you're doing. I'm just seeing cyber threat real time map.
Are
That's
you
something else.
class, please, can anyone help me confirm to that, please? We are not seeing my screen, what I'm showing.
I can see it, but the only thing is maybe you might need to enlarge the view. That's just the only thing.
That's sorry. I guess I will just so how about now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it. So this should not be for everyone to see, just for the technical departments. So you want to come up with policies. You come up with policies based on you know um those who can, because again, this is more like the triple A, right? The authentication, authorization, and accounting, right? Accounting here is not, we're not saying accounting of the finance. We're saying accounting of, you logged in at this time. I saw you logged in at this time. Again, that was the lab I was going to, something very close to this was what I was going to, say, okay, let's go into that today, but a little bit more technical. So yeah, for instance, if there was a brute force, if there was a brute force, um, the brute force to log into my system, I'll definitely be able to come in here and notice it, right? So usually there we have the, what's it called? Um, we have the code for it, right? It's usually by the event code, maybe is it 3625 again? Let me try 3625 and see. Okay, there's no event under that. There, let me give it some time to load. But they're usually identified by their, what's it called now? By their IDs, the event ID. So I believe I don't have any of that, um, code here, right? But it's 3625. I think for if I try to log into my system and I didn't use the correct password, it will log in with that event ID. 3625 or 0325, one of those. But you can see the ID here. So, but then you see how that policy. So again, an auditor, a system auditor, or a skilled professional will definitely get access to this part or this area of your system, right? And not maybe managerial or employee. What's the employee looking for here? Nothing now. So this will help you to come up with policies. And yeah, I hope this is able to, or this is answering your questions, sir, you asked, sir, that asked. I'm not getting any response from Sada Ask. So I'm not. Was this able to answer you on your question? I'm not getting any response. So I can't even remember who asked the question. Okay, he left. He left the class. Oh, okay. Okay. But I hope this was able to help us with some knowledge on that same question, right? Any other questions, please? Any other questions, please? Any questions from anyone? So if there are no questions, let me just explain this very quickly. So I was talking about also policies, right? But it's important that he's here because he asked the question. Okay, but I think we're still recording. So, like I said, if there was a password logon failure, it will be audited here, right? And so you want to also look at, okay, what are the things what are the policies that are guiding your password, right? So you come here, you look at, okay, there's a password age, right? So I might decide to adjust these things. Right now, you can see nothing as much is being configured here because this is my personal system, yeah? It's always with me, but if this was a Windows server or Active Directory where we have different groups, users, again, the groups and users will be these people right here, managerial, technical employees. They could have, or they should have subgroups like the managers, maybe IT manager, HR manager, right? Technical, network department, security, maybe which other department, threat intelligence, things like that. And then employees, maybe the finance, cashier, things like that. Nurse or whatever it is, right? So you definitely audit password policies. This is again one of the policies you want to look out for. Account lockouts, you say, okay, how many times should you log in or how many times should the password accept failed or incorrect passwords, right? So you want to set that as well, right? So okay, there's an account. This one might actually ask for. I guess I might not be able to make this because this is the administrator account. So how many invalid logins? So I can say, okay, maybe after this would have been much more easy. I would have done this on my virtual machine rather because tampering with this on my main system is actually dangerous. But here you come, you do this auditing, right? You set these things. Again, I'm the administrator of this system, so some things might be a little bit limited. As the administrator, right, I should have some administrator privilege, which is what is being displayed here. But if I had other users under the administrator or in a group, and as the administrator, I'll be able to I'll have all access to fully control and modify these settings on them. But how will I be, you know, it makes sense to you, right? I'm the administrator of this system and I want to be setting lockout, but what if, so there are some things, privilege I will just enjoy, just like as a sudo user, as a super user on the Linux, you enjoy everything. So it's just might not really be making sense if you want to do some, some things, restrict some things for yourself. You only should do that for like, the users or groups. So that's what it looks like. So this will help you look at the assignment. You say, okay, come up. So I've just showed you one here. there are policies here. There's a password policy, there's an account local policy. This is already answering the question. There's local policy on the audit policy, the user's rights, the security options. There's the Windows, there's the public key policy, there's the software restriction policy. That's why it's saying at least 20 to 25 because there's you can there, I've made mention of a lot. This is another a few here. Application control policies, IP security, there's firewall logs. They are just there. So again, you have to do some research and then this will be so easy for you to do. So I hope I've been able to. So yeah, I actually did expatiate more on that than the first time. But yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, I don't know any other question. Any other question, class? Uh, so let me just show something. This was the lab I wanted to pull up for us earlier. I hope you can also see this. Yeah, so it's just very similar to what I've just showed us. Just on logins. So you see, but this is like a Windows server, yeah. So you can see like this is the same place I just showed you now, the local security policy here. I showed the audit policies, all these things. But see, there's some more accessible options here because again, this is like a Windows server, so you definitely see more features. So there's auditing the account login on and off, success failure, things like that. Yeah. So so what happened there was we tried to brute force the accounts and then we did that there, we did that here. So these are Linux commands, but again, like I said, those who have been in the class, I gave an analogy, right? Is the class still on?
Yeah, we are with
Oh,
you.
okay. I just noticed. Okay, so, right. So after making sure that okay, there's that, because again, this like it's like what would happen in a live situation. So this was the command that was used, that will be used, okay, to brute force. There's a users list, there's a password list. We use Hydra. Hydra is the name of the tool. I don't want that. Don't. If you were here earlier, what I said, like it's like fertilizing, man. This lab would have just spread, help us to elaborate. So don't, if you're seeing some things there, don't worry. We'll get there. We'll do it. We'll do them specifically, or we specialize on those things. But just to gain that knowledge. So yeah, there will be so this was where it will take place, right? We'll set it up on the Linux, and then this is the attacking machine, right? So we are targeting this IP address. This IP address you see here and the port, the FTP is the file transfer protocol port. Then that's the IP address of the. So we'll store the IP address by next term when we start the computer networking firewalls and those things. So when we did that, it was successful. We were able to log in using the login administrator, the password. Sorry, this cut off there. So, but yeah, after that was done, then we went and checked, and then we saw what happens. Okay, so pardon me, it's 4625. So since it's 4625, I'll just come back here. I just need to something that has 2 and 5, right? 4625. So if I say 4625, let me see if I will have any. Okay, so you see, right? So I actually have. So what this is actually interesting because I think on my system I should know my password, but it's actually right because I just remember sometime because I know my password, I'll just feel like I know it. I'll just and then it tell me, guy, you're too fast. So type your password slowly. So yeah, you can see. Yeah, but I might not want to go and open this so that no one catches my password, or because I know we have some intelligence analysts in this class that are just looking for me to double click on this and just see the main thing. Yeah, but again, this is I'm just that was on the light time, but you see now this helps you to understand what I'm trying to say, right? So that was and then and on and on and on like that, and on and on and on like that. So again, I'm just pulling this up so that I'm just trying to encourage us to do some readings so that when we start working on these labs, it doesn't look very strange, right? It's something that we just, because again, you know, the questions we would ask during the labs, those types of things, right? I like them to be questions that, okay, wow, okay, it shows that we are doing some readings, yeah. So yeah, that's it. Uh, so funny enough, I can't even. I'm trying to look for the tab where the meeting is on because I can't see you guys. Okay, I can see you guys now. So yeah, that's that about that. Any questions, anything, any observations? So any questions, any observations? Security is interesting though. I'm trying my best to make the class not, because I know I can talk so much and then everything just gets very boring. So just trying to make it as interesting as possible so that you guys don't get boring by my or bored by my plenty Magana. Or shall I? Or
And
my
then,
plenty? Shall I? Yeah, yeah.
sorry,
Mr.
can there
Nick,
be a time relapse to allow us consume that material properly?
I think we've answered this question, sir. The if you're requesting an extension for your assignments, right now we still have that, there's that grace, right? But again, I told you, once we start, it's sometimes ongoing, yeah. So I mean, it requires a lot of resources. And it's not like maybe um, right now, Cyber Vigil is just operating based on the person you're seeing on screen here is more like everything. So once we transition to an online where you submit your assignments, you get even your deliverables I'm sending on WhatsApp right now is just how we are much operational at this level. But we don't want to remain this way. So online, you submit online, you start getting penalties on your. So but right now, yeah, you have that grace. You're requesting extension for maybe a few more days to some assignment. It's okay. I have to understand on a personal level, right? Because you know, but every week you keep asking for extension. It's just like piling up. So but I understand, right? I don't want to seem like I don't understand everyone's work schedule or but there's a way we also need to just try your best to do what you can do to study these things so that like Mr. I think Adebayo said, there's a time frame for this so that within that time frame you can also complete these things and then move to the next stage next game. So that's that about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I hope I'm as lenient as possible. I hope I am. I hope I'm not a strict
Yes,
instructor.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope I'm not a strict instructor so that you guys don't give your reviews will be looking very wicked. What kind of instructor is this one said that we have a cyber vigil? But it's just what it is, man. Cyber security, you must. Any questions? Any other questions? We have like a few more minutes. No one is asking a question. By now, we should have started trying to attempt some certifications now. But it's fine. It's okay. Even myself, I find myself, taking my time to prepare for certifications as well. I don't just rush those things, because I tried CC. I failed CC twice. It was on the third attempt. This was just last year. So sometimes you just think that I use overconfidence twice to go and try it. And I did not, but in third time, yeah. But that actually, helped me to know what I'm doing when it comes to certification. So it's just, yeah. So now when I have to sit for certifications, yes, Mr. Emmanuel is like that, man. When I have to sit for certifications, I have to. Nah, I don't think like I know it all. I just know, no, no. I have to. CC humbled me. I have pretty much some certifications before CC, but CC humbled me. Like, guy, you know, you need you need immunity in your life, man. That was what CC
It
taught
will
me.
humble you, man. And there's no doves, man. Trust me.
But
Those
but
guys
you know
are
the
bums.
you know the good thing. The good thing is once you pass that certification, that's it. Like any other certification, you just you ace it. It would make you very articulate, understand the question and answer it. That's what CC would teach you. I mean, this is me that I've conducted trainings on CISSP, CEH, Security Plus, name it. Like I said, I had certifications before CC, but I failed it twice. I'm like, on the third time I went there, I'm like, when once I saw the question, I had to, respect, I had to bow my head, like, okay, Sisi, good afternoon, sir. Sir, please, can I write this exam and pass it? And then it was like, okay, now you are calm, now you are humble. Now take the certification. So, but that's just by the way, but it's good because it also boosts your confidence. It will help you to, like I said, be articulate in reading questions and answering them and knowing what you're doing in cybersecurity. Yeah. We started we started treating some questions for those who wanted, I mean, there's the pioneering set who wanted to, who were thinking of writing. And then there's some questions that actually would help you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you write CC and you pass CC, all these things that we're doing here will be very, very, they'll be like walk over for you because you just, it's like that. So if there are no questions, actually, I think we've had a good time today, right? One of these days I want us to do labs. Like again, the lab work will help us to just go wide so that we'll ask questions. Those questions you ask, we discuss, you see them in upcoming deliverable assignments. You'll be like, I thought we've talked about this, it will be walkover for your assignment. That's the essence, so that's the game. So yeah. Any other questions, any other thing? I can just keep on talking like these guys. Like I just be talking and talking. So you guys have to you have to say something to me too. So that anything, any question. If there's nothing, then I think we've tried for today. We can just go and rest and continue our assignments, like work on the deliverables, read the textbooks. Very important. Very important. Again, if you read the textbook or you read anything or you find anything elsewhere you don't understand, bring them to class. Let's treat it. So yeah, that reminds me. There's a workshop that's coming up. It's CTF workshop. I think I posted that on the group. Say, in fact, I would encourage everyone to please don't miss that workshop. It's a 3-day workshop. There are two guys that are coming, man. Those guys are awesome, awesome. Mr. Joshua and Mr. Ali. They are coming for that workshop. Please, guys, like all these workshops, these seminars, they would really help they would help again with this articulation when it comes to cybersecurity. You know what you're doing, you know what to expect. You know, because again, it's not just the theoretical, we come here, we talk, we look at deliverable, but the practical, the practical aspect as well. So this workshop is going to be mainly is a CTF capture the flag workshop. So you can just imagine all is going to be hands-on, hands-on. You learn, you ask questions, they will answer your questions. These guys are good guys, man. Trust me. Anybody that is coming on Cyber Vigil, don't worry. Uh, don't worry, you can bank on me on that. I've done my due diligence on them. So I'll bring them here. I can tell you they'll answer your questions. Don't worry yourself. All right. So and thank you all again for your support on our last webinar. And just expect more of that. So I'll be bringing information in news. We'll see them in the group. We'll talk about it here in our live sessions as well. So yeah, so if that's all for now, or just 5 more minutes, guys, and then we are off. Anything? Yeah, Mr. Tim Tyler. You're welcome, sir. All the question that everyone has asked me today is for extension of time. Ha, yeah. Week 2, okay. You just know that you do cybersecurity whether you like it or yes for the next 6 weeks. Thank God, everybody is here has submitted an enrollment form, so we are bound together. Me and you, all of us, we are now in this together. week 2, okay. We are going week 3, week 4, and okay, Mr. Emmanuel, you know the game now. We are here, exactly. That's what I was expecting. We die here together. We resurrect again on the 6th week. Okay, yeah, just waiting for any questions within the next 4 minutes. Me, I'll just that one will come later, Mr. Emmanuel. This is where you are going to now. The carriers go well, no. Let's do what to make that one will come in the way we don't even expect. Sef. That's why we are here. So, but yeah, it's part of the game. I won't lie to you. I'm just waiting for 3 more minutes. Any question, anything you want to talk about within this small time?
That's fine. So, okay. Sorry, 1 minute. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
What I want to ask is about referencing. Hello, Steven. About if you can give an example. I mean, maybe you can just. I'm always get confused when you are especially when you are looking at articles or journals, or maybe you get some cybersecurity blog where they still talk about some good things about research. So how to reference or cite those stuff? I just want to clarify that. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I'll do I'll use my work. When I say my work, it's my paper that I wrote, right? But I referenced others, scholars on that paper. So I'll use that to do maybe a 5-10 minutes video, or yeah, and then upload it, just for cyber vigil. Maybe I could upload it in the group or upload it on YouTube. So, but it will be available. So you understand. Also, again, I'll use my work. There are different referencing, or there are different sources. That's the right word. Articles, journals, published work. So I'll show everyone. So you see, I'll put that out. Thank you, sir, for making mention of that. Okay. Okay, I guess that's all. We have 2 more minutes, so I guess that's all. So if any other thing, please feel free to always reach out. Can reach out on the group. If it's a question that you think you ask everyone will benefit from it, please ask it on the group. If it's something that okay, this is personal, you need to ask me, then yeah, you can ask me the question directly. But if it's something that okay, I'll answer and everyone too needs to know the answer or would learn from me, then ask it on the group and I'll definitely reply. Okay. I guess that's it for today. And I'll see us again next week, Tuesday. Tuesday, not Thursday. Tuesday, please.
So much, sir. Thank you, sir.
All these things will be understood. Thank you so much, boss. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night rest. Irrespective of